Good afternoon, Hokie fans, and welcome to another edition of Sports Talk with Ryan here in Season 3, Episode 78, and with the Enter Sandman in the background. That means one thing, we probably have somebody connected here to Hokie Athletics here on today's show, and today here we have Billy Ray Mitchell here with us. That's one of... one of the hosts here of Sons of Saturday podcast. Billy Ray, how you doing today?
I'm excellent. Looking forward to getting back to Blacksburg, all maroon everything, homecoming. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'm interested to see what the weather is going to look like. I haven't looked at it recently. I thought there might be some rain, but who knows? Maybe my buddy Pat likes to call it the poncho effect. So we'll see. We'll see what we got.
Yeah, well, let's see. On the let's piggyback here on weather and the second home game. That was pretty interesting here with not only a rain delay, but then when they resumed, they weren't checking tickets, and if you were able to come back when it resumed, you could have upgraded your seats.
No doubt. I was there for that game. And, the one comparison I can make it until they let everybody out of the stadium, it was literally like the Titanic in the, in the concourses. I mean, nobody was selling water. Nobody was selling hot dogs. The wind was gushing through. So crazy scene for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And so let's see. So what is your connection here with following Virginia Tech athletics and the background here of your podcast there, Sons of Saturday?
Sure. Really high level. My senior year, I medically disqualified, and I was looking to find a way. You don't really have time to do any internships or anything, and I started a podcast just because I had a lot of connections in the sports world, whether they be players or coaches, and we started doing a show. It was called the Hung Up Podcast. With my friend Willie Hansen, and we used to just cover all of sports. So professional sports, college, baseball, everything. And it was a ton of fun, just getting on there and chopping it up. And then you quickly realize there's one Stephen A. Smith, there's one Skip Bayless, and that market's very, very saturated. So really looked for an opportunity to niche down. I had a bunch of phone calls with a bunch of different people, and I'd be having the same conversation around Hokie sports. Everybody has these conversations, whether it's a bar, on the phone, or anything. Turned it into a podcast, and here we are. I think this is our fifth year doing it. Ton of fun. And at the end of the day, we really want it to be more of I don't really consider us the media. I think a lot of people get that confused. We're more of a community enhancer. We like to talk about the things that make Virginia Tech special to us and make Virginia Tech special to everybody else. And it's been a ton of fun. I've enjoyed it every step of the way.
Yeah, and your co-host, he's a Hokie alum as well, right?
Yes. So Patrick, he's probably the most famous Virginia Tech affiliated person that I know. Homecoming king, class president, was in the German club. I mean, you go anywhere with this guy and everybody knows Pat Finn. And I know his dad went to Virginia Tech as well, played soccer, met his wife and Patrick's mom at Virginia Tech as well. So a ton of Virginia Tech ties. I get a lot of garbage for it, but my dad did play at Ole Miss. So I have a little bit of an affinity for Ole Miss as well. But yeah, it's a good, it's a good back and forth.
Yeah. And let's see. So, do you guys, make it to every home game and then whatever road games you guys can make?
So we have been to every game this year except for Marshall. We had a tailgate for the Rutgers game, which was awesome. We had about 400 Hokies buy tickets through us, and we all sat together, did a tailgate. We went down to Florida State last weekend, which was a ton of fun. But yeah, we have season tickets. We sit in Section 5. We absolutely love it. Try to make it to every single game. I think I'll be at every home game, and I will be on the road later in the season for UVA. And I'm thinking about Boston College, but it's kind of close to the Iowa and South Carolina basketball game, which I'll be attending. So I don't think that I'll end up making that one, but I try to get there as often as I can.
Right. Yes. Yeah. My wife and I, we got season tickets there in the south end zone, section 204.
Okay.
We can't make it to this game with having prior commitments at home, but definitely will be there for the Syracuse game and then also senior day against NC State.
No doubt. Looking forward to it. It's crazy to think. I mean, when was the last time we're playing UVA on the road? I was going through kind of the preview for the Wake Forest game that we're doing later today. We haven't played UVA in front of fans since 2018. It's almost been 5 years that we haven't played our in-state rival at home in front of fans. So yeah, looking forward to that senior day next year.
Yeah, and the interesting thing here about catching a game at Lane. I mean, I know that this Saturday the game's 3:30. And yes, they do have the most impressive entrance, but nothing like with the first home game against Old Dominion or even the last home game against Pitt. There's just something when it's a home game and it's Enter Sandman at night.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, I can't give enough props to our fan base to keep selling out these games. And look, we're in the middle of rebuilding the program, and that's a lot of work and a lot of tough football to watch sometimes. But it's great to see that this fan base is sticking behind this team, and I'm excited for Coach Pry and the rest of his staff to continue to build this team and these young guys to continue to get better as time goes on.
Yes, and then also here with you guys being a Hokie alum and, Mike Young doing a great job there with the men's basketball program, and also Kenny Brooks there
Yes.
with, the women's program. Do you guys, follow Hokie basketball as well?
Absolutely. So it's been such a pleasure to get to know Coach Young and his staff and Coach Brooks and his staff. And as awesome of the people they are, it's reflected from top to bottom with the men and the women's team. We've actually worked alongside with Liz and Georgia on the Queens of Castle podcast, which is absolutely blown up, and they've done such an amazing job, and they're such tremendous ambassadors for Virginia Tech. So we cover it all, man. I mean, wrestling, basketball, baseball. If it's something going on in Virginia Tech, then we're talking about it, because it dominates my conversation amongst my friends. So we try to bring everything.
Yes, and here just recently, here out of the pandemic, baseball and softball have certainly have had great seasons there for the Hokies.
Softball has been absolutely tremendous. Baseball has been awesome as well. Coach Jeff has done such a good job rebuilding that program and taking such a dive into the analytical side of things and kind of looking at the game in a way that a lot of other programs are not. So I remember when I was in school, they were still building the new baseball diamond. It's been really cool to kind of see that come into fruition.
Yeah, and I definitely remember when Coach Hughes was there leading the baseball program, and the Yankees coming to Blacksburg there in 2007.
Yes.
To support Hokie Nation on the heels of that tragedy. Definitely remember that time.
Without a doubt. I mean, that was before my time, but I remember where I was, and I remember that entire day when I was living in New Jersey, and that's before I had any connection to Virginia Tech. But it was really cool to see the entire country and the world get behind Virginia Tech. So special place.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I know with living here in Tidewater, Virginia, I know one of my brother's high school friends, Jeff Holland, was one of the first ones that I knew that out of Western Branch High School, went to go play for Coach Beamer. And, I just started following Virginia Tech athletics there in the fall of 91. And yes, whether you go to any athletic event there on campus, I mean, Lane Stadium, you can't can't help when it's 65,000 plus, but any Hokie athletic event, it definitely is a special place there in Blacksburg.
Without a doubt. Completely agree.
Yeah, yes. And so how was I haven't been to Tallahassee since 1989, and also with one division. How cuz it had been a while since Tech not only played Florida State but played Florida State there at Tallahassee, since they used to be in the other division. So how was it?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's crazy to think about. I'm glad we did away with divisions. Obviously, you lose playing UNC every year, and you lose playing some other teams every single year. Miami, another one. Excuse me. But the only time we'd really see Florida State is in the ACC championship. I believe they came to Virginia Tech in 2011, and that was the last time they were there. And that's ridiculous. I mean, these are two really, really fun programs with awesome fan bases. And I think this might get people angry, but that's fine. I think the breakdown between the passion in the Coastal Division versus the Atlantic Division is so different. I have a lot of respect for Pittsburgh's program. Pittsburgh's program is usually playing in front of a half full stadium. Same thing with UNC, same thing with UVA, same thing with Miami. I mean, maybe it's 10 or 20% of a full stadium. So I love that we go to Florida State this year. You got Clemson coming to Virginia Tech next year, barring any type of schedule changes with the conference realignment stuff. But it was awesome. Tallahassee reminded me a lot of Baton Rouge, where, it's the capital of the state. A really, really fun school that has some great athletics programs, and really looking forward to going back there again. I had an awesome time.
Yeah, and and to piggyback on your comment here, where the football program is in a rebuilding process, and Coach Pride doing a great job. But yes, you do have to applaud Hokie Nation, because here, I know it's homecoming, but it's on the heels of the fourth home game, and it's a fourth sellout. So people definitely, still coming to Lane Stadium.
No doubt. You got to shout out the fans. You also got to shout out the Hokie Club. I'm sure they're having a lot of phone conversations and finding ways to get fans in seats. But no, it's the best sports team in the state. It's the best show in the state, and people show up. They're loud. They pay attention. They're informed. They're intelligent fans, and it's one of the many things that make Virginia Tech special.
Right, and then also when I had Whit Babcock on earlier this year, it definitely was awesome to see during the women's tournament, and the Lady Hokies there in the West region, and Hokie Nation there being in Seattle, and the Let's Go Hokie chant.
No doubt. I mean, we're absolutely everywhere. I mean, when we went to Notre Dame in 2019, there were a ton of Hokies there. Travel extremely well, extremely proud bunch. I'm kind of frustrated with the ESPNs and the CBSs and the Foxes of the world to not give us a home game on national television with that schedule that came out the other day. But we'll just have to show out on national TV in other people's arenas. So I know that I'm going down to the Rutgers game. I'm going to the Iowa game, and I'm trying to make it so I can go to the LSU game. So we'll see.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And I thought with the Lady Hokies having being a Final Four team, and the excitement there at Castle, I agree with you. I think they definitely deserve some national exposure, but
right.
I guess everything else, hey, just play the game and let your season do the talking.
No doubt. Completely agree.
Right. Well, hey, I know with on the heels of homecoming, I know that it's probably a busy week for you, but appreciate your time for coming on and talking some Hokie athletics, and go Hokies there on Saturday afternoon.
Well, real quick, what do you think is going to happen?
Hey, let's see. Against Wake Forest, I like a 28-24 Hokie win. What about you?
28-24 Hokie win. I'm going to go with 31-17. I think if Virginia Tech scores 30 points, they're going to win the game. Wake is just, they're well coached, but they're just not. It's a disaster season, honestly. A disaster season might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but between these two teams, if you want to go to a bowl game, if you're Wake, and if you want to go to a bowl game, if you're Virginia Tech, it would be in your best interest to win this game with the rest of the schedule coming up. So it's going to be a ton of fun, but this was great. Thank you so much for the invite. And would love to do this again sometime.
Well, thanks. And real quick, Sons of Saturday, that's on Apple Podcast, and you guys got a YouTube channel?
Sons of Saturday, we are on YouTube. We are on Apple, Spotify, Twitter, Instagram. You can find us everywhere. Yeah, really appreciate the plug. I appreciate that.
Sure, no problem. Appreciate your time, and yeah, we'll look about having both of you guys on here in the future. But go Hokies and enjoy the game here Saturday with it being homecoming.
No doubt. You have a good one.
All right. See you.